Good. Okay. We're going to turn to the east, facing the holy city, all right, the holy land, and giving all praises, honor, and glory be to the Father and the Son, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the Great Millstone, also known as the GMS, which teach properly and sincerely taught us the truth. All right, Shalawam to the Lord's hopeful elect, 144,000 men, as well as the 1/3, men, women, and children, maintaining themselves, keeping the laws, commandments, and statutes to the best of their ability. It's your brother Yerami Kazak, back out here, all right, stomping on Babylon, right, with hopefully another edifying street preaching through the spirit, power, and strength of Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. This one will be entitled, The New Covenant is Our Rest. Okay? The New Covenant is our rest. So, let's start it off with Micah 2 and 10. Let's go over there. Really, we can start at Micah. We can just start at the top of that chapter. Understanding that you are not in a state of rest at this point in time. You're in a state of distress. Much peril, much sorrow. You know? I saw a statement the other day stating that majority of people in their 80s, talking 80 years of age, okay, and up, are still working. And that's not how society is supposed to be, man. But in this wicked man society, the wicked man being Esau, Edom, all right, the Edomites, the sinner, okay? This individual, Satan, the devil, all right, that dragon, that old serpent, right? That individual. In his society, in his kingdom, a person 80 years of age is still working with no help and, you know, nothing to come and save that individual. All right? And he doesn't care. He honestly does not care. Okay, so this is Micah 2, starting at the top. And the caption is, woe to the oppressive leaders. Woe to the oppressive leaders. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. Those beds mean their rest. The YT man is at rest right now. All right, he rules all the corporations. He establishes all the businesses. He runs the entertainment industry. Where you got your so-called stars, your rap stars, your artists, they're bending over backwards, literally, to work under him to get paid chump change, millions, where he's making billions. Look at every single basketball player where he may get a $200 million contract, but the owner of that franchise, he's making 75 billion, 100 billion. That's chump change. That's nothing to him, right? And you think that we own something just because we got millionaires? No, this is high-paid slavery. Okay, at the end of the day. So they're on their beds, they're resting. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. They practice evil just because they can. When they could make society a better place and help individuals, but that's not in their mindset to help you and me, right? The hard-working individual, the everyday man, okay? And they don't even care about their own nation. As you can see, you got Edomites out here working. In our kingdom, we're not gonna have to work, man. Every single Israelite will be at rest. Oh man, I left my water in the freezer at home. Let me see, if my wife is on here, can you take that water out of the freezer? I meant to grab that water before I came out here. Hey, and that's also a testament to these bodies, okay? Forgetful. I meant to grab that water out of the freezer so it'll be cold when I get out here, but hey, it's at home right now, being frozen. In the kingdom, we're gonna have what? Everlasting bodies, where we will not forget anything. We will remember everything. We will have what? Multiple wives, a lot of kids, thousands of kids, and we will remember every single one of their names. Okay? Verse 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence in houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. You have been oppressed. You cannot go back 4 generations and tell me who your people was. Our nation is a nation that has been oppressed. Okay? Being brought over here via ships. Being brought over here and taught an entirely different language. Y'all think we was in Africa? Okay? Y'all think we was in Ireland? All those lands where we were scattered to, y'all think we were speaking the colonizer's tongue? No, we were not speaking the colonizer's tongue. Alright? We was brought over here and we was taught this language. You forget that you wasn't allowed to read or write. And then when you got a little bit of knowledge, when you got to read or write, and they gave you a Bible, what was the Bible? It was the slave Bible. What was took out of the slave Bible? Certain things that told you that you were the people of Yahawah, that you were the sons of God. Alright? It was actually used to furthermore make you a better slave. Okay? So you can't take pieces from the puzzle, or the puzzle will never be complete. And that's what the YT man does. By telling you that you're African American. By telling you that you go back to Ham. We come from Sham, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's our lineage. We don't come from Ham, Cush, Phut, Canaan, Mizraim. We're not Egyptians. We were enslaved by the Egyptians. Now we may have a similar complexion because yes, Moses was able to fit in with the Egyptians. Yahawashi, who the world English calls Jesus Christ, when Joseph and Mary went to Egypt and they were able to fit in with the Egyptians when they were running away from persecution from King Herod. Alright, so the Egyptians, yes, would be of a dark complexion, and that's furthermore letting you know that we are of a dark complexion. But we are not those people because we are not Hamites. We are not Hamitic. We are Shemitic. We come from Sham, not Ham. Alright? So your fields, your heritage, your house has been oppressed to the point where you don't know who you are. Most so-called Gadites, Native Americans, you believe that you're black. You believe that you're a Negro of the tribe of Judah. When your forefather may have been the tribe of Gad. But the color complexion is similar. You have what you call black Indians. Alright? You had, you know what I'm saying? So you may not be a Native American, or you may not be a Negro. You may be a Native American, or if you think you're a Native American, you could be a Negro. But when the YT man came together, what did he do? He called everybody colored. And also going back to the Irish. If you know, back in the day, it said no Irish, no coloreds, no Mexicans. Okay? So that's all of us. So we was the original Irish, the original Scottish, the Vikings. We ruled those lands in what you know as the Dark Ages. Okay? So our fields have been covered. Our fields have been took. And that also goes into lands. That also goes into our land. What did the YT man come over here and do? He came over here, he made treaties, and then he broke those treaties. He took the land of our ancestors. Okay? So let's read it again. Micah 2:2. And they covet fields and take them by violence. What does the YT man do everywhere that he goes? War, war, war. Every single place he goes. In the existence of America, 249 years. Next year will be 250 years. It has only been 29 years of peace. So this man, as long as he has ruled, has been at war. This is what he knows how to do. Genesis 27 chapter starting at 38, going downward, tells you that he's blessed with the sword. All right? So they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Verse 3, therefore, thus saith Yahawah, behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go halted, for this time is evil. So the Most High is going to bring upon them what you know as a recompense, a reproach, a correction, a judgment for all the wickedness that they have done. He will bring back upon them evil. You reap what you sow. So what you put into the pot, you get back. Alright, so if you put in wickedness, you're going to get back wickedness. If you put in righteousness, you're going to get back righteousness. The Most High is justice. Ain't no justice in America. I see my people, y'all work 40 years, 30 years, 20 years, and you still got to work. That work is not given back to you. All right? You don't never establish nothing. You build up a house, and it's took from you. Just because you can't pay the bills. Things that are, oh, y'all got it? Y'all got it? Okay. All right? Simply because you can't pay the bills. So this stuff is took from you. The Wati man does not care. Okay? Like we stated earlier, majority of people in their 80s still have to work a part-time job to take care of themselves. And this is the way that he set it up. All right, let me check the comment board real quick. Oh, hey, Grandma. Hey, Shalawam to my brother. Shalawam, Yahawashi, Yahawashi, Barak, Ahtham to you and your household. All right. So keeping it going. Verse 4, in that day shall one take up a parable against you and lament with a doleful lamentation and say, we be utterly spoiled. He hath changed the portion of my people. How has he removed it from me? Turning away, he divided our fields. We used to be a great people, man. Okay? We used to have, if you know about ancient America, if you know that we had certain structures, we had cities, okay? And then even going back to Negro land. Furthermore, going back to Israel, when we ruled, what did everybody do for King Solomon? They came to get the wisdom, to get the understanding, all right? Because he was the wisest king ever and the richest king ever, okay? So the entire planet used to come to us for understanding, all right? So over time, because what? We disobeyed, we broke the laws, commandments, and statutes, we went against the Most High, he brought us low, and he allowed other nations to rule over us. Therefore, we went Northern Kingdom, which is Latinos and Native Americans, went into the Assyrian captivity, and then they took it upon themselves to come to America, and they settled in the Americas, and that's in 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter. All right, verse 40, going downward, you know, and then the Southern Kingdom, which is the so-called Negroes, the Haitians, and the Jamaicans, Trinidadians, they were took into captivity by the Babylonians. And then, furthermore, the Persians took over that empire, so we were ruled by the Persians. The Persians allowed us to go back to our lands, all right? So we dwelt back in our land again. Nehemiah, Esdras, all right? Built up the temple once again, and we dwelt in our land. But then you had what? The Greeks. The Greeks came. Everybody knows about Alexander the Greek. They came and they took over and they established their empire, and then they began to Hellenize our people. That's why right now we are in the Feast of Dedication, known to the world as Hanukkah. In the correct Hebrew, it's Hanukkah. All right? This Feast of Dedication was our people fighting back against the Greeks, fighting back against that Hellenization. So our people were Hellenized. They were taught what? They were taught a Greek tongue. They were taught to speak the Greek when we used to just speak the Hebrew. but we were taught to speak the Greek. All right, and that's not a proper language, man. It's a corrupt language. The Most High talks to us in a pure language. Now we understand, now we talk in this corrupt language, the English, the Spanish, the Greek, the French, whatever it may be, because as the scriptures say, we come to our people with stammering lips and different tongues. Yes, but when we call upon our power, Yahawah, the Father's name, in the Hebrew, you want to call upon him in the Hebrew because that's the most powerful language. All right, Yahawah and Yahawashi. The names that the Son was called when he walked upon the earth. Our people did not speak. They did not call him Jesus when he walked upon the earth. They called him Yahawashi. When he was nailed to the cross, what was put up? What was the languages put up? The Hebrew, the Greek, and the Latin. The Hebrew, the Greek, and the Latin, it wrote King of the Jews. Nowhere in there was it English or was it Spanish or any of that. And he was what? King of the Jews being Yahawah, southern kingdom, Judah being the leader of that southern kingdom. Alright? So, what was the Pharisee speaking? What was he speaking? What was the apostles speaking? They were all speaking the Lashawan Kadash, the Hebrew. That's extremely important. Now, Micah 2 and 10, Micah 2 and 2, going back, that was stripped from us. What is that? That's heritage. That's our culture. That's our customs. Our language is extremely important. All right, so verse 5. Therefore, thou shalt have none that shall cast a cord by lot in the congregation of Yahawah. Now, I want to go down just to get to the point. Verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you even with a sore destruction. This entire kingdom, because this is definitely a kingdom. As we know, this is a heaven, because a heaven is more so talking about a kingdom, a rulership. All right, not the heaven that the Most High dwells in, and not the heaven which is the sky, but this is another heaven where it simply means a rulership. So this is whose heaven? Because this ain't my heaven. It's the YT man's heaven. Who is ruling at this point in time? Who has the resources? Who has the power? Who has the slaves? Employee is just another name for a slave. You go, you work for somebody to pay some bills because somebody allowed you to live in something that they own. You have to pay for water, electricity, gas. You're slaving. You have to pay these individuals or you can't have none of this. Also in the old days, this would be known as tribute. You would be a tributary. You have to pay. That's taxes. All right? So we are nothing more than slaves still. Okay? Physically. Now spiritually, we are made free. We are set free because Yahawashi is dealing with us. The Holy Spirit is dealing with us. So we can see and we can understand and we keep in our mind that our King will return. Okay? Now with that said, I'm going to go to the new covenant, which is our true rest. Just bringing that out to show that this is not your rest. In this kingdom, which is the YT man's kingdom, you have what? You have much stress, you have much pain, you have much suffering, you have much bills, and you are plagued. Alright? Let me check the comment board real quick. Hey, Shalawam to my brother Yahawah. Hey, Yahawashi, Yahawashi, Barak, Ahtham. Alright. Keep it going. Let's go to Hebrews, the 8th chapter. And I'm going to show how the new covenant is in the New Testament and the Old Testament. Because according to Malachi 3 and 6, Yahawah does not change. Okay? Anything that he said, that word is bond. And it reads, for if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault with them, he saith, behold, the days come, saith Yahawah, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Judah, with the house of Israel, and with the house of Judah. Now, the house of Israel is the northern kingdom, the Latinos and Native Americans. Because you got some Israelites, man, out here, they think it's only black people. It's not just so-called black people. That's a foolish statement. Who went into captivity? Who was oppressed together, as the scriptures say? All right? Who's suffering? Who you look around and see? All right? Who's the main employees? Okay? The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. So we are God's chosen people. All right? So we are suffering. We are oppressed. So the house of Israel is what you know as the Latinos and the Native Americans. And then the house of Judah is what you know as the Negroes, the Jamaicans, the Haitians, the Trinidadians. All right? We come in all different colors, shapes, and sizes. It's not a skin color thing. It's never been that. Okay? It's not a skin color thing. You know? Because what? You have what you call a speckled bird. You have Israelites that may have dwelt in the land of, let's say, China, Japan, Australia, the Philippines, whatever, and their father is indeed a so-called Israelite, right? But their mother was a Chinese woman or a Japanese woman. Now that seed, the seed comes from the father, right? So it does not matter what the mother is simply the ground. If I take an orange tree and I plant it right here, then it's gonna come up and it's gonna produce oranges. It doesn't matter what the soil is. All right, you can have white soil, black soil, blue soil, pink soil, purple soil. It doesn't matter what the soil is. Okay, the orange tree is still gonna be an orange tree. It's gonna produce oranges. So if you tribe of Judah, you're gonna put a seed in a woman, and that it doesn't matter what the woman is. All right, that baby is still gonna be tribe of Judah. It does not matter the color, right? So that's something to be understood, and that furthermore shows you that the Israelites are never done away with. And we'll get Jeremiah 31 after this to furthermore prove that you are what your father is. It's a patriarch. That's why we go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We don't go back to Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel, or Bilhah and Zilpah. No, we don't go back to the women. We go back to the men. All right? Verse 9. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt. Who was led out of the hand of Egypt? Us, the Israelites. All right? Because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith Yahawah. We broke the covenant. We continued to go off. What did we do? We built up false temples. We built up false idols. We worship Molech, which goes today to your modern day Santa Claus. All right, we worship that. We worship Baal, okay? And we worship Ashtaroth, which is your Easter bunny, okay? That festival. We worship these Greek gods. We worship Zeus. We worship Poseidon. We worship Aphrodite, okay? Prometheus. We worship all these false gods that these heathen nations brought to us when they brought these captivities upon us. Going back to the captivities, the Grecian captivity, the Greek captivity, right? As I stated, we in the Feast of Hanukkah right now. So some of our people, a lot of our people, majority of our people sold out. And then you had the Maccabees, right? Which they gathered with them people and they fought back to preserve our language, our customs, our heritage, and our culture. Okay? So, that being said, after that, you would have the Roman captivity. Now, the Romans brought with them similar gods that the Greeks had, because the Romans and the Greeks are both Edomites, same nation, just under a different name. Okay? And the Edomites love to fight. one another. As we stated, in the 249 years of America, only been 29 years of peace. So they love to fight one another. Why is America and Russia about to fight? They're both Edomites. They of the same nation. But it's in their blood to do war. Okay? Now, going back, verse 10. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith Yahawah, I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts. So the law is important. The Most High is putting the law in your mind. He's writing it in your hearts. What he's doing is important. He's not doing nothing for no reason. Okay? Why would he have Moses write the laws down and give it to you if it's not, you think the Most High just doing stuff for no reason? Hey, I'm gonna give you this. Don't even care about it. It's not important. But Most High don't do nothing like that. If he says something and he does something, he wants it to be remembered forever. Upon generation. These laws should be kept. Now we know, understanding, because like I just said, I forgot my water bottle at home. So in this flesh, we can't keep it. As it just stated, we broke the covenant. We went off. It's impossible for us to keep it, especially in this land where we don't supposed to touch pork. But you got pork in the concrete. Okay, you got pork in the yogurt, pork in the Jello, pork in the Doritos, pork in the Cheetos. All right, you got pork in damn near everything that they can put pork in. Okay? So, the Edomites, which he is the lawbreaker, he sets us up to break the law. He wants you to break the law. All right? So let's keep it going. Yahawah is going to write that law in us. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know Yahawah, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. Now, who is this pertaining to? We go back to verse 8. I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. This is who this is pertaining to. This is pertaining to us. No other nation. Alright? So from the least of our people to the greatest of our people. So from an individual that's gangbanging, doing drugs, doing all of that, in the kingdom, he's going to be a what? A king and a priest. According to Revelations 1 and 6. According to Isaiah 45 and 17. According to this new covenant. Because he will be in his right mind. We have a lot of Israelites that's not in their right mind due to captivity, slavery, brainwashing. Alright? This is why when Yahawashi came, he told the Pharisees, he said, you are like your father the devil. Alright? Because they followed after all the wicked customs and the wicked traditions of these individuals. They corrupted and manipulated our people. When they brought the woman, the prostitute, right? Let's put this in our minds. When they brought the prostitute in front of Yahawashi and said, you know, she's committing adultery, whatever, blah, blah, blah. What you gonna do to her? What you gonna say to her? He said, hey, who gonna cast the first stone? Really, because look at them. None of them could say nothing because where was the individual that she was laying with? You got to break that down to me. If she committed sin, then I guess she committed it with somebody. So where is this individual at? That showed that they are liars, man. She did something, yeah. But they didn't bring the other individual. They were twisted and being wicked. Alright? Furthermore, if you're going to judge somebody on something, you have to what? You can't be doing that action. You got to practice what you preach. You got to what? Get the mote out of your eye before you judge another brother. But we are to judge because we will be what? The judges of the earth. We are the judges of the earth. We will rule the earth. We will judge. What does a king do? What does a priest do? They judge people. You are always judges. We have a book entitled Judges. where we judge. Okay? Yahawashi is coming back to judge. You are judged based upon your deeds, your ways. As prophets, as brothers that's preaching and teaching, we bring out the law. Let's go to Ezekiel 44 and 23 real quick. We bring out the laws, commandments, and statutes to let you know to get this blood off of your hands because you're going off. Ezekiel 44. And 23. And it reads, one second. And it reads, and they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and profane, and cause them to discern between the unclean and the clean. So you have what? You have unclean things, you have clean things. Going back to the point, the pig was never deemed as a clean animal. Never. Shrimp, lobster, crab, shellfish, these were never clean. The Most High stated in Leviticus the 11th chapter, not to touch these, not to eat these. Because what? He knows their purpose. A pig's purpose, the hog, is it's a walking trash compactor. It can eat anything and dispose of it. That's what it does. The shrimp, the lobster, the crab, the catfish, they do the same thing in the oceans. Bottom feeders, okay? They cleanse the oceans. They cleanse the lakes. This is what they do. They eat the poop. They eat the trash. They eat the waste. Like a tiger shark. It eats anything. It will eat metal. It will eat trash. It will eat whatever. We don't supposed to eat shark. It's not clean. All right? So these things, they eat whatever. If you know, based upon your meat, what you eat, you are what you eat. Furthermore, but what the animal that you eat eats, you're gonna take in those certain type of parasites. Now a pig takes in far more parasites than a cow, than a deer, than a lamb, right? You know, so it's also with that. And you can't cook these parasites out. I don't care if you smoke it or do whatever. These parasites will only come out at around 1,500 degrees. Last time I checked, my stove only go up to 500. You know, and my grill only go up to about 600, 500. You can't cook these things out. They are unclean to you, right? Keeping it going. Let's go back to Hebrews 8 and 11. Let's read it one more time. And to show the reason why I read Ezekiel 44 and 23. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know Yahawah, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. In the new covenant, we will not teach no more. We will never hit a corner again. Never. We're not going to teach our brothers and sisters. Now, heathens, other nations, yeah, we'll have to teach them. We have to teach them the correct way and the proper way. They're going to have to learn the laws, commandments, and statutes then. But now, what? It's for us. Okay? And that covenant is only made with us. Okay? So understanding that, we're still teaching our brothers and sisters. So we're not in the new covenant. We're in grace. We're under grace. Where Yahawashi, who the world inwardly calls Jesus Christ, he is that ultimate sacrifice. He has bought us with his blood. He has paid that cost. So therefore, we do certain sins, we mess up. You know, we're not automatically unalive. How it used to be, where the Most High would judge you far quicker. Now it's more so a mercy, and you got to get right. You're under grace. That's a time period where you got time to get right. You have a time frame to get right. Like, oh, you don't make your rent. You don't make your car payment. They give you what? They give you a grace period to make that payment. You have a grace period to get right. Now, if you don't get right or make that payment by that time period, then what? They gonna come take that. So the Most High is giving you mercy, all right, in this grace period for individuals to turn back, get right, and stop willfully sinning. Okay? Because you're gonna sin. Alright? These pants, this not one fabric. It's a sin to not wear one fabric. We understand that. So these pants, I got multiple stitching in them. You know? I didn't create them, I just bought them. Alright? So even going down to your underwear, it's multiple stitches. So you can't get your socks. It's multiple stitching. It might say 100% cotton, but it's not. And that's going back to the white man's society on how he sets up this place for you to break the law. He wants you to break the law in every type of way that he can make you do it. So therefore, don't be over righteous and say that I'm gonna keep the law 100%. You can't keep it 100%. This society is not set up for you to keep it 100%. But you can do your best. Alright? You can keep the dietary law. You can keep the law of domestic relations. You can keep the morality law, the sexual morality laws. You cannot sleep with your brother's wife. Okay? You can keep these laws. Check the comment board real quick. Yeah, okay, yeah. If you don't, okay. Alright, let's keep it going. Alright, so finishing this up. Verse 12, for I will be merciful. What? These people crazy. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. So the Most High is going to forget your sins. And in that everlasting body, you will never sin again. We understand that sin is the wages of death. So by sin, we died. This is why Adam and Eve had to go. Yahawah said, you will die this day. Now we understand a day to the Most High is 1,000 years, as Peter stated. So Adam died around what, 900, I believe 950 something. All right, Salaki if I'm off, 969. Or around there, I have to check it. I have to fact check it. But most definitely, he died within that 1,000 years. So that's a day to the Most High. So in that day, he did die. Alright? Because of his sin. Understanding that that serpent would go back to understanding that's Esau. It would not have been a snake. There's no talking snakes on this planet. Never, no time in existence. So that snake would have been a group of people. If we take serpent back into the Hebrew, it would be Nakash. Nakash, which means a warlock, a person that practiced division, a person that practiced sorcery, right? Divination. Okay? So that the philosophy and the ways of America, the wine of Babylon, in itself is a spell. A lot of our people are under a certain spell, right? And they can't tell because you got the main warlock, Esau Edom, that's pulling the reins. So their philosophy, their ways, how in 1990 it was considered a mental illness to be LGBTQ. Right? But now, in 2025, you have a whole month for that. Because they're pushing more with it's the spells, man. They bring it, it's called gradualism. They bring it in slowly. The beast system is creeping in slowly. Alright, that's what's happening. The C-hip, which they're trying to put in your right hand or your forehead. Okay? That was first implemented in the 1980s and the 90s when they was putting it in animals to locate your animals. Now, people are taking it willingly, and they don't care because they don't read the Bible, they don't understand prophecy. Okay? So, it's getting to a point where technology, they're making it to a point where it's convenient. It's gonna be attached to your phone. You're gonna use it to open your car. You're gonna use it to go in a grocery store. You're going to use it to buy. You will no longer need your wallet anymore. You won't need cash. You won't need nothing physical. All you will need is that chip that's in your right hand or your left hand or wherever they want to put it. It doesn't matter wherever they put it. Okay? So all you're going to need is that. Alright? But it's going to be pushed as convenient. It's going to be pushed as safe. But it's not. You put any type of electronic device in your body, it creates radiation. Radiation leads to cancer. Alright? That's why in Revelation 14, 9 through 10, you know, it lets you know anybody that takes that mark of the beast, they will be thrown into the lake of fire. And then furthermore, Revelation 16 and 2, it lets you know whoever takes that mark of the beast, they will get a grievous and a gruesome sword. And I looked into that, many brothers have looked into it, and it comes from radiation, cancer. Alright? So if that C-hip is attached to the grid, then it's also attached to the 5G towers. Your phone, just like your phone. Your phone, full of, let me get my phone out. This phone is full of radiation. Okay? Do not sleep with this beside you or none of that. It will give you a headache. You be on the phone too long, it gives you a headache because of the radiation. Okay? So this is what goes on. It came out the Bluetooth headphones. They cause cancer, radiation, because of those waves. You got waves penetrating your brain from this signal to another signal, no wires. All right? That's a lot of radiation. So it's the convenience that they're gonna push to people, and people don't care about their health, they don't care about their temper. So keeping it going. Verse 13. Let me see. All right. Verse 13. In that he saith, a new covenant he hath made the first old. Now that which decayeth and waxeth old is ready to vanish away. Now we understand, and let's go to Hebrews 7. We understand the only thing that was truly changed was the law of sacrifice, where we no longer have to sacrifice animals. Because why? Because Yahawashi is what? He's the ultimate sacrifice. Okay? He did that. He paid that cost. So he is that sacrifice. Why did we sacrifice animals in the first place? To redeem us. To cast away sins. To pay for our sins. We had to get the Most High blood. He requires blood. Alright? Yahawashi bought us by the blood. So therefore, it's no need to sacrifice animals anymore. If you continue to try to keep the law in that sense, and you try to keep the law perfectly in that sense, then you are denying Yahawashi going up on the cross. You say that his sacrifice didn't matter. Right? This is why we know and understand that the law will not save you. But we understand also that we establish the law. Because without the law, you're lawless. You know, you got to establish it. In the new covenant, as we just read, those laws will be written in your inward parts. So we, Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, will be keeping the law 100% in those everlasting bodies. It will be no mistakes. We will have a perfect memory. I won't be forgetting my water bottle in the freezer. All right? So, Hebrews 7 and 11. If therefore perfection were by the Levitical priesthood, for under it the people received the law, what further need was there that another priest should rise after the order of Melchizedek? In the Hebrew, that would be Malak Tazadok, Melchizedek, and not be called after the order of Aaron. So you have a different order that we are moving into. The order of Malak Tazadok, not the order of Aaron, where we had to keep the law in that sense, but the order of Melchizedek, where what? Individuals will come where we will still keep the law, understanding that, because Abraham kept the law, okay? Abraham was what? Saved by faith and works, because he had faith, and then he what? He got circumcised, he obeyed the Most High, he did what the Most High told him to. So, as it says in James 2:14, going down to about 21. James 2:14 going down to about 21. Faith without works is dead. Just loosely quoting it a little bit. He said, you know, you give your brother needs a blanket, your brother's cold. You tell your brother, go forth and be warm, and your brother needs some food, you tell him, go forth and be warm and be full, but you don't give him that blanket and no food. It's just all faith, no works. It's pointless. But they say talk the talk. You talk is cheap. You gotta act on it. So you're supposed to go forth and help an individual as well by showing them, by giving them something. Alright? So faith without works is dead. Show your faith by your works. Okay?
Yep.
So verse 12, for the priesthood being changed, there is made of necessity a change also of the law. For he of whom these things are spoken pertaineth to another tribe, of which no man gave attendance at the altar. If we understand, the Levitical priesthood was ran by who? The Levites, which today would be your so-called Haitians. So do I have to be a Haitian to be a priest? No. Every man in Israel will be a king and a priest. Revelations 1 and 6. Okay? Every man will know how to keep the law perfect. And he will be a priest and a king. He will have dominion and power under Yahawashi. Because Romans 8 and 17 tells us we shall be what? We shall be joint heirs with Yahawashi. So that means also Philippians 3. Matter of fact, man, I'm gonna just go to the phone so I can go faster. Alright. Alright, let's get those. Romans 8 and 17, and it reads, and if children, then heirs, your heir, you have a what? You have an inheritance. Heirs of power and joint heirs. Joint heirs, a joint is connecting. Alright? So together. Okay? Now it's an order. Yahawashi will be at the top. Okay? And then you have King David. And then you have the apostles. And then you have the 144,000. So we will be joint heirs. And joint heirs with Hamashiach. If so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. He told us many times, the servant is not greater than the master. Those that love me, those that serve me, they must feel persecution as well. He was tried, and he didn't do nothing wrong. So we got to go under that as well. They're going to use the AI to deem us wicked. They're gonna paint our faces up and plaster us up and make us look like villains, how they do already. You know, they say that we just angry men on the corners or whatever. That when we breaking down the scriptures, man, right? So it's slander, but that's the same thing that was done to our king. You know, they said he's a wine babbler. He hangs out with sinners and publicans. He gets drunk because he drunk wine. Ain't nothing wrong with drinking wine. All right, now he was not a drunkard. Understand that. You got to understand the difference. So he was not a drunkard, but he drunk wine. He partook. All right? But he was not a wine babbler. So whatever they tried, hey, Shalawam, bro, I saw you over there listening. Whatever they tried to say against him, they tried to twist it. They tried to make him look bad. Right? So yeah, some brothers may be, always, some brothers may be aggressive, passionate, all right? And we may cuss the white man out from time to time. We may cuss the black woman out. We cuss the wicked out of our people. Yes, we get on them, we rebuke them, we correct them. but that's with passion. Didn't Yahawashi take a cord, a rope cord, and then he beat their ass, man. All right, at the temple, because they was making his father's house a place of merchandise. All right, this is a holy place, but you took it and you defiled it. So he had anger. Anger is not a sin. All right, so let's keep it going. So we'll be joint heirs with Hamashiach, if so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. Now let's get Philippians 3, 20 and 21. For our conversation is in heaven. We put our affections up above. This stuff down here does not matter, man. Cars, white picket fence, house, it's whatever. If Yahawah gives us it, he gives us it, whatever. He makes a man rich, he makes a man poor. All we need is our daily bread, and we know he gonna give us that. Because our life is much valuable than a sparrow. And he allows a sparrow, a bird, to eat. He allows a cockroach to find food. He allows a rat to find food every single day. Right? So how much more value are we? So we don't worry about those type of things. I got faith. I know Yahawah gonna take care of me. Okay? So let's keep it going. Our conversation is in heaven, from whence also we look for the Savior, the Adawan, Yahawashi Hamashiach, who shall change our foul body, this body that is subject to sin, this sinful flesh. Alright, this body where you get sick. You know, you get the common cold. Okay, your back hurt, your knees hurt. Bro, I slept wrong 2 days ago and my neck still hurt. I've been doing stretches and stuff trying to get it, but it hurts. You know, so this is a weak, feeble body. This body, I have to walk out here and get hit by a car and be dead. This is not the everlasting body that Yahawashi has. He has a body right now that will never be destroyed, that will never be unalived. You can't hurt it. You can't do nothing to it. He lives forever. He went up at age 33. All right. Now he does not even look the same. When he came back, they couldn't even recognize him because he was in a glorious body. Okay? So everybody will look, in a sense, like teenagers, man, in the prime of our life. That's how we're gonna look. Alright? So this right here is a vile body. Who shall change our vile body, that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body? So we will have bodies like our King, according to the working whereby he is able even to subdue all things unto himself. Right? So it's extremely important to know that our bodies have to be changed. Matter of fact, let's go to 1 Corinthians 15. We got to. Verse 50. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of power. You can't go into, because we understand chariots, what you know is UFOs are going to come and get us. That's in Matthew 24. Matter of fact, let's go there. Matthew 24 and 30, let's start at 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, that's Jacob's trouble. We have to go through Jacob's trouble. We have to go through tribulation. We have to go through much trial. Shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. Now, this is twofold, really threefold. All right? Hey. So judgment will come, and we understand the day of Yahawah, the day of the Lord, is what? It's a dark day. It's a day of clouds. It's a day of ICBM missiles. Because he did it once by water. He purged the earth by water. Now, this time, he's going to do it by fire. Those are purging agents, cleaning agents. So he cleansed the earth with water and only saved 8 souls. Now he's going to cleanse the earth by fire, and he's going to save. He's going to save not just 144,000, because we understand 144,000, according to Revelations the 7th chapter, that's the men, that's the prophets, that's the men. All right, 12,000 from each tribe. Okay, you got 12,000 from Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, Issachar. Okay, now some of those individuals are already in the spiritual world. They already passed. They're with the Father right now in the spiritual world, and they will come down here when He comes. And some of those individuals are still on the earth, doing what they're supposed to do, right? So, understand, some of those individuals had what? They got families, they got wives, they got daughters, they got sons, they got kids, they got friends, people that help them, right? You got secret admirers, you got individuals that their lot may not be to preach, but it's to give arms, charity, support, you know? So you have people that help the prophet. As the scriptures say, if you help a prophet, you will get a prophet's reward. You will get that. Yahawah sees everything. So that is what you know as the 1/3, according to Zechariah, the 13th chapter. All right, 8 and 9. You have a 1/3. And that could be millions or possibly even a billion, all right, of individuals. So it would be more than 144,000 being saved and going into those chariots. Okay? So the sun being darkened and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. That's going back into the heavens, which those heavens is kingdoms, rulerships. So the powers, meaning the governors, the presidents, the hierarchies, the individuals that are ruling and controlling the earth at this point in time, they will be shaken. Those stars falling from heaven, that will be your celebrities, and also that will be your ICBM missiles coming down. So everybody, as Yahawashi said, the first shall be last, the last shall be first. If you got it all in this kingdom on this side, you took that temporary power, that temporary riches, you sold your soul, you're going to be the least in the kingdom. Because you already been in your heaven. Right? You serve the wrong master. Yahawashi said you can't serve two masters. You can't serve Mammon and Yahawah. You got to pick. So you can't serve money and the Most High. As it also says, the meek shall inherit the earth. The meek, the humble. You know, blessed are you if you're in poverty. All right? So this is talking about ICBM missiles coming down. And the governors, the presidents, all these nations falling. Because we know Yahawashi is what? He's the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. So he's coming to take every crown off of any kingdom that's on this earth and establish his kingdom that the Father has given him. Thou kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. Right? So ain't gonna be no treaties. Ain't gonna be no peace talk. You're not gonna meet with Yahawashi to talk about peace. No. It's gonna be give me that, or you going to the lake of fire. What you wanna do? That's it. He's not coming to talk. All right, verse 30. And because he said he's coming back with a sword. He's not playing. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man. That's him. And heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. Why is everybody crying? I thought y'all would be happy. Why is everybody going to be mourning? Because you know he's coming to judge y'all if he wasn't in your right mind. But those that's righteous, we're going to love his appearing. We're going to love that he's back. Right? And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds. Those clouds, once again, is chariots, UFOs. You can see them at night. If you got to really look, they up there. Right? Flying around. You know? And they show themselves to us sometimes like shooting stars, stuff of that nature. You'll see them. They'll be here and they'll go and they'll disappear. That's the power, the technology that the Most High has. It's far more greater than anything the YT man could build. All right? The Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels, the Halalyam, with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from what? From the four winds. That means the four corners. All over the planet. That's furthermore letting you know that we have been scattered all over the planet. Now, majority of us are in the Americas. South America, Central America, North America. Yes, because we was over here, we were brought over here in captivity, and we were already dwelling over here. The Aztecs, the Mayans, the Incas, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, etc., etc. We were all put into captivity, okay? By the YT man, which you know as the Spanish, the Portuguese, the Dutch, the British, and the French, all right? That's well documented that they came and they colonized the Americas. All right, Canada, all right? They colonized us. They took us over, okay? Now that's according to the curses as well. In Deuteronomy 28, he will bring a nation with a different tongue from a faraway land, and they will come and take us over. Okay, now furthermore, 31, and he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds. His elect, that's the 144,000, and their families. Okay, that was right. Because you can have people in your family that's not right. They don't care for God. They don't care. They don't care. They doing other stuff. Right? So the elect and their families, those that's under their authority, okay, from the four winds and from one end of heaven to the other. You know? So that's how he's going to gather us. Now let's go back to 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 15 and 50 again. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of power. Neither doeth corruption inherit incorruption. So we can't go into those chariots like this. This is why. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. Going back to Philippians, this vile body must be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye. That's faster than a second. At the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. Incorruptible means that you will have no sin on you. No sin. That's incorruptible. You will have an incorruptible body. Alright? And we shall all be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption. This vile body must change. And this mortal must put on immortality. So you're going to live forever. The mortal must put on immortality. The corrupt must put on incorruption. You will have an everlasting body. You will never worry about death again. Next verse. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the same that is written. Death is swallowed up in victory. Now what is that furthermore talking about? The new covenant. Now who is this for again? It's for Israel and Judah. It's for us. Let's go to Jeremiah 31. And let me check my time. 1 hour. Alright, shalom. Alright, let me see. 1 hour. I'm on. Just keep going. I'm in the spirit. Jeremiah 31:31. Behold, the days come, saith Yahawah, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Same thing that it was saying in Hebrews 8. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, saith Yahawah. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith Yahawah. I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their power, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, every man his brother, saying, Know Yahawah, for they shall all know me. From the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Yahawah, for I will forgive their iniquity, and will remember their sin no more. Same thing that is saying in Hebrews 8. Nothing changed. Thus saith Yahawah, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon, and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea, when the waves thereof roar. Yahawah of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart from before me, saith Yahawah, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. The Most High never lost his order. Alright, 37, the point being, thus saith Yahawah, if heaven above can be measured, and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith Yahawah. So, they have not measured the heavens above, and they have not measured the seas. Therefore, we have not been cast off. He is never going to stop dealing with us. He's dealing with us. Why did he send his only begotten son? Right? Matthew 1:21 tells you that he came to save his people. Last time I checked, the 17 other heathen nations are not his people. Alright? So, Yahawashi is also that mediator. Hebrews 12:24 states it. He's the mediator of the new covenant. That new covenant is for Israel and Judah, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. Alright? That's clear as day. And this lesson that I just brought out, man, it's clear as day. It ain't no other way around it. You know what I'm saying? You can't beat around it no more. We are the ones who are going to live forever. This is the kingdom that is to come. The heathen nations, as we broke down a couple lessons ago, they will be slaves. They will be servitude. They will be in servitude. You have to have a ruling class mentality, as Elder Apostle Kabar says, man. Get in that mindset. You are a king. You are a priest. Alright? Stop looking at yourself as something lower. Now we understand we have to suffer. We have to go through all of this right now. But we can see the light at the end of the tunnel, man. Alright? No, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Most definitely. I forgot my staff was back there. Alright, so let me see, man. Make sure I got all the precepts that I have put down. We can get that 1 John. Let's go to 1 John, the 3rd chapter. We're going to end it over here. Behold, we start at the top. Behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of power. Therefore, the world knoweth us not. They drive by, they can't tell who we are, man. They look at me, they beat, they yell, they scoff, they mock. They mock. Alright? They can't realize what's going on before they face. Man, they can't understand what's going on. We prophesying that we knocking down this kingdom. Your time is over. Alright? That's it. Your time is over, man. That we should be called the sons of power. Therefore, the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not. And that's also talking about our people, the world of Israel, our nation. They can't even recognize who we are. Beloved, now are we the sons of power, and it doeth not yet appear what we shall be. But we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. All right? So we're going to be like our King, Yahawashi. As we just broke down in Philippians, the 3rd chapter, Romans 8:17, joint heir, all right? That new covenant, that everlasting body. Yahawashi ain't going to have to really teach us nothing. We're going to be like him. We're going to have that understanding. That's what it is. Get that in your mind. We ain't going to have the scriptures. We ain't going to have to go over the scriptures no more, man. Okay? This part of the ministry is almost over. As Elder Apostle Nahar said, all right, year 2026, the year of apostasy, sellouts, and false prophets being exposed. That's what's going down. All you wicked ass niggas, man, with grimy ass intentions. You hiding behind your camera, you hiding behind the money you making, all this bullshit that you doing, all the merchandise that you selling, you making the Father's name of merchandise. You think that you can't be touched? The Most High gonna touch your ass, bro. No Alizar. No Diddy, no Alizar, my bad. But the Most High gonna get down with you boys very soon. If you got any type of sense in your mind, repent and get right. And stop going against the order that was set up. You can't see? Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi has raised up his men. Revelations the 11th chapter, man. The proper men. He also raised up these wicked ass false prophets. And you can't realize that you won. You teaching contrary. You don't talk about prophecy. You ain't talking about everything that DJT is doing. Nero. Alright? All these luscious parties and this ballroom he's building. Going to war with Venezuela. Talking about that's gonna be the new Vietnam. Ass whooped in Vietnam. Esau is about to be exposed, man. He's being made bare. Jeremiah 49:10. Alright? BRICS nation rising up against him. Everybody's pissed off with Israel. You know? So we love to see it come to pass. Jacob's trouble, man. What'd he say? February, he coming down on Southern Kingdom. He coming down on the so-called Haitians that were brought here. Now he's gonna deport them out. Over 300,000. He's coming down. You know? He's got you. He's got a target on you. But you don't think it's real though. You're like, oh yeah, he's just going after migrants. He's just going after Hispanics. He's just going, no, he's coming after you too. Jay, you can be touched. Fire is hot. Best believe that, man. Alright, so hey, with that being said, you know, I hope this was edifying to the flock. Turn to the east, giving all praise and honor and glory be to the Father and the Son, Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Kakadash. As always, double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the Great Millstone, who I do listen to and subscribe to. Shalawam to you brothers always. Hey, Shalawam to the Lord's hopeful elect. Kwam Yasharahla, and a Bible ball to this wicked kingdom. May Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi destroy this bitch yesterday. And let's get up out of here. Maintain patience, brothers and sisters. Maintain patience. Fast, pray. All right, keep your mind set on on the right things, man. And don't get distracted out here and don't fall out of the truth. Shalom. Shalom.